back on radio as well. Hello, welcome back. You are listening to IBGR.network, and IBGR is our call sign as a radio station, as everybody knows by now, but they also know that we are much more than a radio station. We are actually a network of global entrepreneurs, more than 40 of us coming together to create a shared space for collaboration and business success. Your business success. And that's why we bring our knowledge and our experience to the table, as well as other information that we know can and should be beneficial to not all of you all the time, but some of you some of the time. And that's why it's wonderful if you like and share this and share this with other people who are also thinking about becoming entrepreneurs, who are already entrepreneurs, or whatever level they're at, because I can guarantee you there'll be something for everybody there. Now, I'm your host, Jan Robberts, the inspirational entrepreneur, and this is episode number 13, the finale of season 4. And we're looking back. This is a looking back day, and I think it's in every episode, everywhere you go, we're looking back and to see what episodes we've been through, some of the points we've made, some of the things that have stood out for us, and of course what stands out for us every time is you, the listener. So we want to hear from you, we want to listen to you, because when the next season gets into play, we also want to know, is there anything that you would like us to talk into as a radio station in a different area that you haven't heard yet, that you're really curious about and you really would like to know more about, or I just have some questions. Bring them, and comments as well. Bring them to the table. We want to hear from you, the listener, in more than 161 countries around the world. I can greet you in quite a few of them, but welcome to everybody. Now, you can also download the show notes, of course, even what I'm talking about today, the look back, it's all in the show notes as well, something about all the episodes. So you can bring that to the table. You can download them from the website as well, which Donna normally uploads. And you can also go to the IBGR.network page to connect with us and download the app. Now, we just talked about the first few episodes, and episode 4 was actually where I talked into the importance of knowing your why. And that's important in life and in business, because it really is your GPS to success. And, again, it was another so important area that I'm actually creating a video course from the book Finding Your Why, a 6-video course, because many people don't like to read so much, but if they have a video where it talks into and how to go about it, it might really help them. So I thought, okay, I'll do the video, especially for the visual people. In learning styles, that is VAK, and of course you see behind me as well some of the disc profiling side, which also talks into how people communicate and learn, and their leadership styles and all that. Knowing yourself is important, which we'll come to very shortly. Now, knowing your why, a quote actually that I use there, but it's not the years in your life that matter, it's the life in your years that's important. We talk about the Dash. Sometimes there's a book called the Dash as well, and it's a thin book and worth reading. But what it actually talks into is the on your gravestone you've got the year you were born and your year you die, and then the dash in between. And that dash, that's the important part. The other quote that now comes to mind to me is there is 2 days that are important in your life: the day you were born and the day you discover why. And that really speaks into finding your why. My partner said this one time, and I use it all the time now. We're looking into what kind of legacy we can leave for the next generation and those afterwards. And I mean, when we look around the world just now, what kind of legacy is being left by this global situation? Let's put it that way. I could do a whole day about that stuff, but situation we find ourselves in, and it's not pretty. But why don't we live our legacy? Why don't we do that right now? Because then we can experience the legacy as well and already see how it's working. And maybe we need to make some changes before that date comes that we pass away, so we can actually leave a better legacy than we would have done if we, now we can navigate our way through the challenges and keep the good stuff and get rid of some of the not so good stuff. But most people will die without ever having really lived, and that's the sad thing about it. But by finding your why, your passion, your purpose, your life will take a different meaning and a different importance, believe me. And, it will really help you to stay focused on what is important in your business and give you that extra energy that you need to keep going, especially when the times are tough. And And that's important because as entrepreneurs as well, there is tough times. We all read these horrific statistics that 80% of entrepreneurs will fail in the first 5 years and another 80% will close their doors within the next 5 years. That means only 4% survive in 10 years. That is a horrific statistic, and many people are scared so much by those statistics that they won't even attempt it. And why shouldn't you? Who told you that you're going to be part of that 96%? This radio station is to help you to make sure that 4% becomes much bigger. And Cubimo, the Cubimo CUBIMO platform is exactly the same. Between the two of them, they're geared to help you, the entrepreneur, to become successful and stay successful. But that journey on becoming successful is very important. Finding your why is part of that. Finding who you are. I'm going to talk about personal development a bit, and I'm going to talk about your communication styles as well. Not for any reason that it might be a good idea. No, it's important in your entrepreneurial business as well as in your life. So knowing your why gives you the direction you need and the inspiration to get you out of bed excited every single day. How would that be? You don't have to drag yourself up, oh, it's Monday morning again. Oh my God, it's Monday. No, thank God it's Monday because we wake up. That's the best start anybody can have. I say that to many people. Blessed and highly favored when I wake up because many people would change that place with me gladly. So then we went to episode 5 and I talked into the persistence and why it is not just a nice to have. And how failure is always part of the process. It's part of life. What we learn from our failures, it's a question, will you learn actually from them? Will you keep growing and move forward? And that only happens if you learn from the failures you have. See, failures are a way of getting experience. Now, most people don't want to recognize that, but it's getting experience and the necessary experience today. If you fail today, fail forward. So you get the necessary experiences to walk into tomorrow better prepared. So you know what to keep, what not to keep, what to improve. That's experience, and that needs to be reflected upon. Now, persistence is so important. It's actually in Think and Grow Rich, Tugger, chapter 9, it's in my book, chapter 9, I've got a big book here, right here beside me, talks into that, and it's a whole chapter, but there's an amazing exercise in that. For 14 days, you read that whole chapter without missing a word. If you miss one day, you start again. It really teaches you so much about persistence. Go back to the chapter, the episode, it'll talk into that, but I've known people who took more than a month to do that 14-day exercise because they were on day 12 and all of a sudden they were too busy and forgot. But the conversations you have with yourself after about 4 or 5 times when the stories become the same, I've read this before, will I do it? But persistence is key. And if you can't read 14 days in a row, if you can't read a chapter 14 days in a row, then forget about going to the business because your persistence is failing you. And you need persistence in business. Robert Kiyosaki once said, go into network marketing first, because if you can't handle the no's and the disappointments in network marketing, you haven't at least invested your entire life savings, don't go into business, because network marketing is one of the simplest, not easy, but simplest, but you need to get through there, you need to persist. So persistence is what you need when every person and everything around you tells you, quit, you can never give up. You can't quit. Say to yourself, I will until. Persistence is the key to your long-term success. Failure is a part of the process. Will you learn from it and will you keep on growing? Or will you just go through life? That was the question in that episode. And then we went to episode 6, where we actually got into getting to know yourself and how serious a business that is. And I love that too. I'm a behavior analysis consultant. As you can see behind me, that part of the poster where it's actually a disc poster. I do profiling and you need to know what defines you. See, how important is it when you're dealing with others and understand them to connect with them in a way that you can build relationships? It talks into leadership because leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And when you turn that down, how do you get influence with people? You build relationships. It comes again. How do you build relationships? You ask questions. How do you ask questions? And better questions, you learn to listen better. So, how can you connect with people? So how important it is when you are dealing with those people and to understand them. You can't give what you haven't got is maybe a strange quote here, but it is really, you need to get to know yourself first, your communication style, your leadership style, your personality as a whole. It will be an enormous asset to your life and business. What really defines you? When you know yourself, you know your future. So it is worthwhile of an investment, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a behavioral analysis consultant and I can give you an assessment, provide you with an assessment and give you a debrief and really after even coach you through the areas you need to improve on as you see. But this was never, and I need to have a quick look at probably 45 seconds again. 50 seconds I believe. But this is not just about, people say, but then I'm going to be a D, an I, an S, and a C, and people put me in a box again. No, quite the opposite. What people do put you in the box all the time. You are this, you are that, and you see yourself in a box. I am this, I am that, I am whatever. And what this finally will do, it takes you out of the box, because finally when you realize who you are and how you tick and how you can connect better with others, is going to be so powerful, and it's going to be so necessary for your success. Because when you get to understand yourself, you can learn to understand other people. When you know how you communicate, and that is different from many other people, then you know how you can communicate into them. Then you know you can talk into them the way they learn, the way they communicate, and make much better connections straight out of the run. Now we're going to take another short break here, but don't go away. Join with us on our social media platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, even YouTube, and also on the IBGR network. But join us. Don't go away, and I'll see you shortly.